Hey guys, look, I just want to bring you some quick information here. Jorge Carrascal actually got a 2-game suspension, okay? Flamengo appealed, so the STJD accepted Flamengo's appeal, and his punishment was set at a 2-game suspension, okay? So he had been given a 4-game suspension, now it's 2 games. He'll have to serve those 2 games against Vitória and Atlético Mineiro, all right? What happens? The first game against Bahia, he'll serve the automatic suspension from the red card against Fluminense, so he'll have to serve 3 games in total. There's the red card against Fluminense, and the other 2 games he was suspended for instead of 4. All right? So Carrascal had his penalty reduced, but he still has to serve the one from the game against Fluminense, right? Hey guys, greetings, Flamengo fans.
Isso aqui é Flamengo.
Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications, hit the bell, and drop a like on the video. We're here thanks to the support of Caravana do Haroldo. You can secure your spot at Flamengo's games both inside and outside Brazil. Caravana do Haroldo also offers Champions League packages. Contact them via WhatsApp in the description or pinned comment, and they'll find the best deals for you. Whether it's the Libertadores, the Brazilian Championship, the Copa do Brasil, or even the Champions League and the World Cup, all with Haroldo's Caravan. And do you want to lose weight in a healthy way? Check this out. Papa is wearing size G, M. That's right, you can do it too in a healthy way without hair loss. I'm already doing the treatment to prevent hair loss. So, I was starting to have a little hair loss here in the United States, but they've already given me medication. It's follow-up, right, buddy? So, look, the Mais Linda Mais Cabello program, you can check it out right now. There's a QR code on the screen for you to take advantage of. So, Mais Linda Mais Cabello is making a lot of families happy. Check it out right now, too. There's the QR code. There's a discount, okay? Discount for you here on the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. And you who haven't gotten yours yet, your Guia da Libertadores 2026 from Revista Placar is available. It's impossible not to buy it because it's a collector's item. It's fantastic. I'll leave it here in the products, okay? The Libertadores guide. You can't do it. You can't be without it at home. Libertadores Guide, there it is, Mercado Libre, in partnership with YouTube. There are also Flamengo jerseys on Shopee. By the way, I'll highlight the new white main jersey. It's there for you to get and help Mango, help the channel too, Paparazzo Rubro Negro, and you can get yours. So, official products helping Flamengo. So, there you go. Revista Placar, the Guia da Libertadores 2026. There are also official Flamengo products there. An official Paparazzo Rubro Negro product will be available soon. Yeah, my friends, good morning. I'm going to bring you some important news about the transfer market. It comes right on time. The mid-year transfer window will open soon. And we had already mentioned that Flamengo was keeping an eye on a left back, right? There was news that Flamengo might try to sign the left back from Corinthians. There were other left backs in sight, but we even said that Flamengo didn't have a specific target yet, like ready to go after and try to sign. We're going to bring the news here now. I just want to congratulate my friend Leandro Coringa Rubro Negro. Man, his daughter Maria Elisa was born. Damn, I don't know if I should celebrate or if I should be sad. Damn, I was counting on taking after her mom so Atinho could date her, but damn, she was born looking like the Joker. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Joker, congratulations. All the best. You deserve it, my brother. You're a humble guy. Really good people. We're really close. I'm so happy that you're a dad too. Damn, we'll be able to go out together with the kids when I'm in Brazil, walking with Otto. You too when you're here. Damn, it's gonna be really cool, man. Really cool. All right, guys, here's the deal. Let's go. Do you see the picture of Alexandro and Ayrton Lucas there? Because that's what Flamengo is looking into right now. Left back, okay? So Romario Jr. from the Bastidores Fla profile says Flamengo is going to sign a left back. Romario Jr. shared some interesting information. He says that Flamengo has allocated for the signing of a left back. Flamengo has 10 million euros. 10 million euros to sign a left back, okay? So Flamengo has around 57, 56, 57. I haven't checked the exchange rate today, but almost 60 million reais, right? Maybe even a bit more, 59, but almost 60 million raised to sign a left back. Flamengo is going to the market, and according to Romario Jr., Flamengo already has some names mapped out, but hasn't defined its targets yet, as we've also been saying. Flamengo still hadn't defined its targets. They have some names mapped out. They're mapping out names for the left back position. Yes, they are interested in the signing, and the reason is as follows, guys. We don't know if Alexandro, for example, will retire at the end of the year or continue. He's been getting injured a lot, but he plays really well. He's a player for the Brazilian national team in the World Cup, but we don't know. Then they'll only have Ayrton Lucas. Vinha might come back, but Flamengo needs to enter the market and has already decided they'll have up to 10 million euros to spend on the left back position. And my friends, last night we had matches in Flamengo's Libertadores group, right? A round of Flamengo's group in the Libertadores. The Estudiantes from Argentina, from Buenos Aires, from La Plata, played at home against Cusco. In other words, not at altitude. Even with one more player, a Cusco player was sent off. It was a tough game. It was 2-1 for Estudiantes. Estudiantes almost couldn't beat Cusco, the almighty Cusco. They said Flamengo won 2-0 there. Everyone will beat Cusco at altitude. Estudiantes almost didn't beat Cusco at home in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, okay? So Estudiantes won 2-1 past Flamengo, okay? Flamengo fell behind in the group with a game in hand, obviously. So Estudiantes went to 4 points. Flamengo stayed with 3. And then we have Cusco with 0 and Independiente Medellín with 1, okay? So at this moment, if Flamengo beats Independiente Medellín, they will win. They have to beat Independiente Medellín in the game this Thursday at Maracanã at 9:30 p.m. The fans will fill the stadium. They'll push the team. If Flamengo wins this game against the Colombian team, Flamengo will go to 6 points. With 2 games and 6 points, they'll lead the group. Group stage qualification is almost secured. Estudiantes has 4. If Flamengo wins or draws against Estudiantes in Argentina, then qualification will be pretty much secured. But the group is taking shape, right? No matter what, the group is taking shape. If Flamengo beats Independiente Medellín this Thursday, the group will definitely be set for Flamengo and Estudiantes to advance. And then there's not much left to decide. It's just about seeing who will be first and who will be second. And I've already told you, I think Cusco might even win a game at high altitude. A lot of people were saying Cusco would lose to everyone, but no. I think that at high altitude, even Independiente Medellín could end up dropping points to Cusco away at altitude. And I think Cusco beats Estudiantes or Independiente Medellín, still gets a few points at home at altitude. So, guys, I think this group, which I was really worried about at first, if Flamengo beats Independiente Medellín on Thursday, the group will be in a really good position. But now it's a warning sign, right? The alert is on because Flamengo is currently in second place. Estudiantes went up to 4 points. Flamengo can go up to 6. But Independiente Medellín, it's important for us to mention, right, Otto? It's important for us to mention, look, it's important for us to mention that Independiente Medellín can't beat Flamengo. Because if they beat Flamengo, Flamengo will be in third place. Independiente Medellín will reach 4 points, matching Estudiantes. That's why this Flamengo win is so important. Not even a draw, okay, my friends? Not even a draw. Because it's a Flamengo win. Flamengo is about to play 2 games away from home in a row and then finish at Maracanã. With 2 games at Maracanã, what happens? The difference is this. Flamengo goes into these 2 away games with 6 points. Even if Flamengo, we don't want them to lose any games, right? We don't want Flamengo to lose any game. We never want Flamengo to lose. But even if Flamengo loses one of the away games, they won't be overtaken. Why? Because they got a 5-point lead. If they beat Independiente Medellín, they get a 5-point lead over the third place and a 2-point lead over the second. So that's the truth. This win on Thursday at Maracanã is absolutely crucial. It became even more important with this result. Guys, Flamengo is finishing up preparations for the match against Independiente Medellín. They also just released a statement. I'll bring you that information here. So, Flamengo is holding their last training session on Wednesday afternoon before facing the Colombian team at Maracanã. second round of the group stage of the Copa Libertadores. The activity is scheduled for 4 p.m. at Ninho do Urubu. After the training, the players will remain in camp. At the training center at 11 a.m. this Thursday, we have that activation, right? The players return to the field for muscle activation. It's like a mini training, a preparation on the day so the team is ready for the game at night, right? Very important. Flamengo takes the field then at 9:30 p.m. looking for the lead in Group A. I was talking about this here, about the importance of going after the lead in Group A in the Libertadores. So, we have here a statement that Flamengo released just a little while ago. Look, Flamengo faces Medellín again after 62 years and calls on the fans to come to the Maracanã, okay? So the opponent this time is Independiente Medellín. They crossed Flamengo's path only once more than 60 years ago on February 13, 1964 in Colombia. Flamengo won 1-0 there with a goal by Paulo Alves and then went on to win the tournament. The tournament was in the city. It was like a mini World Cup, right? Flamengo could ask for world title recognition, just as Palmeiras keeps trying with theirs. Flamengo won some of those small World Cups, summer tournaments that people try to say, oh, like Copa Rio. Flamengo also won in Colombia, okay? So more than 6 decades later, history is being written again. And as always, with the decisive presence of the fans, with the best average attendance in Brazilian football over the last decade, Flamengo turns Maracanã into its home in any competition against any opponent. And the fan can still secure their ticket, right? There are tickets available starting at 62.50 on ingressosflamengo.com.br. Let's show our support. Let's fill up Maracanã and go for first place in the group. It's also worth mentioning this. It's been a while, right? Since 2022, Flamengo hasn't closed out a knockout tie at home, right? The Libertadores knockout matches. So it's very important for Flamengo, right? In 2022, Flamengo had the best campaign. It was the greatest campaign in the history of the Libertadores. 12 wins and only one questionable draw. They should have won that too, right? It was against Talleres, right? So now Flamengo is trying to do the same, right? Have a good campaign to get the advantage, play at home. Look, Leonardo Jardim and Flamengo's coaching staff are impressed with Nicolas de la Cruz. Not just the quality they already knew he had, but also what he's been able to do, right? Nicolas de la Cruz's recovery. Man, we know, right? People don't talk about it, but a lot of that comes from the player's mindset. It's about the will to prove that he could turn things around. When Flamengo's former doctor ended up, having a leaked conversation on WhatsApp, we know that affected things. And De La Cruz received support internally and especially from his teammates. Players who are very close to him, right? The foreigners, especially Jorge Arrascaeta. Just to be clear, I don't have any inside information, okay? It's just that the player, right? He got support from his closest friends there, the foreigners at Flamengo, and even the Brazilians. He received a lot of support, okay? And the support from the players at that moment was important for this turning point for Nicolas de la Cruz. He really wants to shine again, right? In football, shine at Flamengo, shine for the Uruguay national team. And he's impressing everyone. He's the biggest boost Flamengo will get because he was one of the most expensive signings in South American and Brazilian football. Flamengo made one of its priciest signings by paying Nicolas de la Cruz's release clause. He's a player of exceptional quality. He would be a starter on any team in Brazil and on several teams in Europe. But he had been dealing with physical problems. And this turning point, his desire to prove himself was very important, okay? As we reported earlier, okay? Here on the Paparazzo Rubro Negro page, Flamengo has been taking special care to make 2026 the year of La Cruz at the club. The Uruguayan, in fact, is already showing considerable improvement compared to last season, and he's been receiving praise from the medical department and the Rubro Negro physiology team. This is information now from Rodrigo Lima from Coluna do Fla. It confirms everything we've been reporting. The performance of Flamengo's number 18 against Cusco at high altitude surprised people inside the club. The player didn't feel the effects of the extremely thin air, and he stayed on the field for almost the entire match. With that, De La Cruz sends a positive signal for the rest of the season. He is definitely a great addition for Flamengo. Officer Dudu Oliveira sent a message to the critics who talked a lot of nonsense about him. I myself argued a lot here, saying he was a star. Man, I talked a lot too. I was upset when that situation leaked. Appreciate Nicolas de la Cruz's game, because this guy is huge on and off the field. The internet softies are now watching this guy play. Perfect. Very good comment. It's hard to understand his situation. The medical department said he couldn't play at high altitude, yet he played really well and was among the best on the field. It seems like the previous coach's staff really had their favorites. No, man, he really did have problems, okay? He's overcoming these problems a lot with the help of his teammates. It's support that he's getting. All of this has been really important. He'll improve a lot with Leonardo Jardim. He's already very highly regarded within the club.
tá?
Wallace Fernandez, when healthy, is one of the best defensive midfielders in South America. Maybe even in the world, okay? Maybe in the world. Arnaldo Braga Jr., thank God, he really throws himself into it. Another level. The only problem is physical. We already knew. When Flamengo was signing him, people were already discussing his problems. That there was no diagnosis and all that. Rafael from 2164. De la Cruz, healthy, is going to cause trouble for opposing defenses, and especially in the midfield, right? He plays really well. Alex HTS said if he's in good physical shape, he'll fight for a starting spot. I have no doubt about it, okay? What's up, guys? He plays well. I never criticized him.
É.
Great player. Unfortunately, he has injuries. De La Cruz, when he's in good shape, fights for a starting spot. I totally agree. I'm really rooting for a better year for Nicolas de la Cruz. And we're talking about Flamengo having a major signing for the year 2026 for the season, which is precisely Nicolas de la Cruz. And the other signing for that area, the other midfield signing, right? Offensive and all that, we've talked about it. De La Cruz, he's really something, right, man? Besides being a great defensive midfielder, he's also a weapon. He's spectacular. But Danilo would be a great signing, right? Danilo, who plays for Brazil's national team and Botafogo, would be the biggest signing there. Man, I think he's got a lot of quality. For me, he's the best player for Botafogo, without a doubt, okay? The news is that Flamengo now has a new competitor interested in signing Danilo, okay? Botafogo is going through a very complicated phase, being sold, right? Eagle was mentioned, and the whole situation was reported in the newspapers. Total clearance, right? Flamengo can take advantage of the clearance to sign Danilo, right? He's going cheap, but Flamengo knows that even with all that, it won't be cheap. They won't make it easy. They're full of debt. It won't be cheap, okay? But there's a strong competitor, okay? Zenit from Russia. They want to sign Danilo in the next transfer window. In fact, they offered 4 million euros, 23.5 million reais per year in salary for the player. We're talking about almost 2 million reais. A million and then some in salary per month. Man, for a player like Danilo, right, who didn't make anywhere near that, it's a lot of money, isn't it? This information is from ESPN, okay? The athlete, although he hasn't ruled out the interest, is not interested in playing in Russia, okay? So there are already some foreign clubs involved. You know, Zenit has a lot of money, right? They're interested in signing Danilo and might end up getting him, but the player isn't interested in playing in Russia. It's a signing, in my opinion. I even wanted to hear your thoughts. For me, it would be amazing to take advantage of this opportunity, take advantage of the fact that Botafogo is going through this phase. They've already lost Savarino and some players to rivals. Why not lose Danilo to Flamengo too? They'll obviously do everything they can. But the way things are for them, just go there and, bring him in, right? So Flamengo had a player from Botafogo's squad on its radar back in January 2026, right? The name, according to ESPN, Flamengo's board viewed Danilo's name favorably. Flamengo didn't make any official offer to sign the midfielder. He's just another player, another midfielder who could strengthen Flamengo. Besides the big signing we've already talked about, Nicolas de la Cruz, Danilo, man, would be... Yeah. It would raise the level. Let me tell you something. Flamengo is already well covered at defensive midfield. It almost went wrong here, but it was like a cat. Like a cat, we grabbed the phone here. Let's go. To wrap things up here, I want to ask you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, leave a cool like on the video, and share it. We're getting to know the platform again here. You guys are starting to get notifications again. We're starting to understand how this new YouTube format works, right? Shorts channel, clips channel, long video channel. We have to understand how the platform is reacting, how it's working, but I invite you to help us out. Help us out. Subscribe, leave a like, right? Share it because it's really important. And at 1 in the afternoon, Brazil time, there's Placar Aberto on the Placar channel, okay? And just a reminder once again that you can get the magazine, okay? The Guia da Libertadores 2026 from Placar is available here in the product section on YouTube. You can get it. There's Mercado Livre, there's Shopee, there's the new Flamengo jersey, the new white home jersey, right? You can get it here. Everything here on YouTube, on Shopee, and on Mercado Livre. Everything here is official. You really help our channel a lot, and you also help Flamengo itself, and you help Placa too, okay? So the products will always be here soon. And also with Paparazzo Rubro Negro's products, okay? That's it. A big hug. Greetings to the Flamengo faithful. This is Flamengo. Thanks.